Ever wondered how to transform tiny seeds into hearty, crisp cabbages ready to grace your dinner table? Cabbage is a versatile and nutritious vegetable that's easier to grow than you might think. Stick around as we guide you through each step of the journey from seed to harvest, sharing invaluable tips and secrets to ensure you reap a bountiful cabbage crop. Welcome, gardening friends. If you're looking to cultivate a vegetable that's packed with nutrients and flavor, you've come to the right place. Today, we're focusing on how to grow cabbage from seed to harvest. Whether you're a novice gardener or have a green thumb, this video will provide you with all the knowledge you need to grow robust, delicious cabbages. We'll cover everything from selecting the best seeds, preparing your soil, and planting, to caring for your growing cabbages and knowing the perfect time to harvest. So let's roll up our sleeves and get ready to embark on a rewarding cabbage growing journey. Choose the right variety. There are many different types of cabbage, so choose the one that best suits your climate, preferences, and needs. Cabbages can be either early for spring planting, mid-season for planting anytime, or late for a fall crop. Early season cabbages include Golden Acre, Dynamo, and Early Jersey Wakefield. Early or spring cabbages mature in 50 to 60 days. Mid-season cabbages include Copenhagen Market, Globe, and Tendersweet. Mid-season types are also best planted in early spring. They take 70 to 85 days to reach full size. Late season or winter cabbages include Danish Ballhead, Flat Dutch, and January King. Winter cabbages are a good choice for storage. They take 85 to 200 days to mature. All of these days to maturity are after you transplant them from seedling pots. In northern latitudes, cabbage is a spring and fall crop. In the south, cabbage is best when it matures during the winter. Red cabbages include Ruby Ball and Red Perfection. Savoy cabbages include Savoy King and Savoy Chieftain. Keep in mind that the late varieties need a longer growing season than the others. That means you may need to plant your fall harvest earlier than a mid-season variety. Check seed packets or plant tags for the days to maturity. Count back from the time you'd like to begin harvesting, and you will have a timeline for planting and harvesting. Cabbages are biennial plants. That means they are not going to go to seed in the garden. Choose the right time. Cabbage is a cool season vegetable. Cabbage prefers a long, cool growing season with temperatures between 45 degrees and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 8 to 23 degrees Celsius. Cabbage can tolerate frost and briefly temperatures as low as 20 degrees. Cabbage will bolt and go to seed in temperatures greater than 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Where to start cabbage? Cabbage can be started indoors, or you can direct sow it in the garden. Start the seeds indoors 4 to 6 weeks before the last frost date in your area. Cabbage can be directly sown in the garden after the last frost date, or as soon as the soil is workable in spring. Cabbage seeds will germinate at temperatures between 45 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The optimal soil temperature for germination is 70 degrees Fahrenheit. At 80 degrees, cabbage will germinate in 4 to 5 days. Starting cabbage indoors involves a few key steps. First, prepare containers for starting seeds indoors using seed trays or pots filled with seed starting mix. It's crucial to lightly moisten the soil before planting. Sow 2 or 3 cabbage seeds in each container, about a 1/4 inch deep. After sowing, cover the seeds lightly with the seed starting mix and pat it gently. Then, water the soil lightly. Always refer to the specific seed packet instructions for precise spacing, planting depth, and days to maturity, as different cabbage varieties may have different requirements. Once the seedlings pop to the surface, move the containers to a cool, bright spot where the temperature is about 65 degrees during the day and a little cooler at night. When the seedlings have 2 to 3 sets of true leaves, move them to individual pots. Place the seed trays or pots in a location where they will receive indirect sunlight or undergrow lights. Provide 12 to 14 hours of light each day using fluorescent grow lights or placing them in a sunny window. Maintain a temperature between 60 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Indoors, keep the seed trays or pots where the temperature is around 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Care for your indoor cabbage by watering regularly. Keep the soil consistently moist, but not waterlogged. Water the seedlings whenever the top layer of soil feels dry, but avoid overwatering, as it can lead to damping off disease. Thin the seedlings. Once the seedlings develop their first true leaves and have grown to about 2 or 3 inches tall, thin them by removing the weaker seedlings, leaving only the strongest one in each container. This ensures enough space and nutrients for healthy growth. Harden off the seedlings. A week or 2 before transplanting, gradually expose the seedlings to outdoor conditions. Start by placing them in a sheltered location for a few hours a day, gradually increasing the exposure time and intensity. Transplant cabbage seedlings outdoors or sow cabbage seeds outdoors as soon as the soil can be worked in spring, usually a few weeks before the last frost. Ensure the garden soil temperature is at least 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Choose a sunny location where your cabbages will receive at least 6 hours of direct sunlight per day. Cabbage thrives in medium to light, fertile, well-drained soil. Enhance the soil by adding aged compost or rotted manure before you begin planting. If you're planting in spring, lighter, sandier soil tends to yield the best results. Use a garden fork to loosen the soil from 6 to 8 inches deep, preparing it for sowing. Rake the soil to make it smooth, break up any clods, and remove any stones. If you are sowing seeds directly in the garden, plant the seeds 1/4 to 1/2 inch deep. Sow the seeds 6 to 12 inches apart. After the seedlings emerge and have 2 to 4 true leaves, thin the seedlings from 12 to 24 inches apart in all directions. Thin the seedlings by removing the weaker ones, leaving only the strongest and healthiest plants. When transplanting seedlings into the garden, you can bury each seedling so that the bottom 2 leaves are below ground. This will encourage new roots to sprout from the underground part of the stem, making the plant grow up stronger and more stable. Space the seedlings 12 to 24 inches apart in all directions, whether in narrow rows or wide row beds. Provide adequate care. Cabbage plants thrive in full sun and well-draining soil. Water the newly transplanted seedlings thoroughly and provide regular waterings throughout the growing season. Give each plant about 1 inch of water per week. That's 1/2 to 1 gallon of water each week. Cabbages like steady, even moisture during the growing season. However, if you get a heavy rain after a dry spell, the plant will take up so much moisture that the head will crack. If a heavy rain comes after drought, use both hands to give the head a quick quarter turn. That will break some of the roots so that the plant cannot take up too much moisture. As plants reach maturity, cut back on watering to avoid splitting heads. Cabbage heads will split when they grow too fast and take up too much water. Again, to prevent damage, twist the head a quarter turn to separate some roots and interrupt water uptake a week before harvest. Apply a balanced vegetable fertilizer every 3 to 4 weeks, according to the instructions on the package. Cabbage likes a balanced diet of the nutrients: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Cabbage can also be fed with compost tea. Keep the area around the cabbage plants weed-free to prevent competition for nutrients. Apply a layer of mulch around the plants to help retain soil moisture and control weeds. Protect plants from pests. Cabbage can be susceptible to pests like cabbage worms, aphids, and slugs. Monitor your plants regularly and take appropriate measures to control these pests. Treat any infestations promptly. Monitor for diseases such as clubroot or powdery mildew, and take preventive measures if necessary. Use organic pest control methods such as hand-picking pests, using row covers, or applying organic pest repellents. Use row covers to exclude flea beetles, cabbage worms, and root maggots. Small yellow moths flying around cabbage family crops are the adult form of the cabbage looper and imported cabbage worm. Harvest. Cabbage is generally ready for harvest about 70 to 100 days after the seedlings go in the ground. Cabbage is ready for harvest when the heads are firm and dense. Cut the heads off at the base of the stalk when the heads are firm and compact. Young cabbage is tastier than older cabbage. Harvest cabbage before they reach maturity. You can pull cabbage up by the roots, but if you cut the head and leave some stalk behind, a cluster of small heads will grow out of the stalk. These can be clipped off when they are small. They will be mild and tender and great in a tossed salad. Slice the head off at the base, leaving some of the outer leaves intact for protection. Use cabbage fresh or store it. Cabbage can be stored in a cool, dark place for a couple of weeks. Savoy cabbages don't store well. Use them fresh from the garden for the best tasting coleslaw. You can refrigerate cabbage for 1 to 2 weeks. Cabbage can also be dried and frozen or cured in brine as sauerkraut. Cabbage seeds can be sprouted and enjoyed as sprouts on salads and in sandwiches. And there you have it. Everything you need to know to grow beautiful, robust cabbages from seed to harvest. We hope you found these tips and techniques helpful, and that you're now feeling confident to start your own cabbage growing adventure. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow gardeners. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more gardening guides and tips, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'd love to hear about your cabbage growing experiences, so drop a comment below with your questions or success stories. If you would like more details on growing cabbage, go to harvesttotable.com and enter Grow Cabbage in the search bar. Thank you for joining us, and happy gardening. See you in the next video.